Hello! In this video we will go over the receiving inventory process. We will receive purchased inventory and show how to resume the receiving process after being logged out of BusinessMind. Before we receive inventory, let's create a scenario. We recently purchased some items from one of our suppliers. They were shipped and arrived at our office. We open the package and remove the invoice and the items. Now it's time to receive these items into BusinessMind. To receive inventory, you can click on the plus icon and choose Receive Inventory from Supplier. Or, from the inventory homepage, you can click the Receive from Supplier link. This will open the receiving screen. This window is separated into a few sections. The first section is where we will set the supplier and receiving info. Click into the supplier field and start typing the supplier's name. As you type, the search will refine. Select your supplier by clicking on it. The supply type is where you can choose if these are purchased items or items you are receiving on consignment. For this example, we purchased these items, so I will leave Purchase selected. In the Receiving Ref ID field, you can type the invoice ID that is on the invoice you received with your purchase. The below fields, Received SKUs, Total, and Quantity, will all auto-populate as you receive your items. If needed, you can add receiving notes and choose the shelf you want to receive your inventory in. Now that the supplier section is filled out, we can begin to receive the items into inventory. We move to the next section, which I refer to as the model section. Click in the model field and begin typing the model number for the first item you are receiving. Again, as you type, the system will refine its search. It looks like I have never received this item before, so I will select Create New Model. This is very important. You must select the Create New Model option when a model does not already exist in BusinessMind. We can now move to the Items section. Count quantity is the quantity of this specific item you are receiving. In this example, I purchased 2 of these, so my quantity is 2. You will note a SKU per item checkbox. Having this checked will create a SKU for each quantity. As per this example, 2. This is important for proper tracking of SKUs. Of course, unchecking this is an option, which would create 1 SKU with the inputted quantity. The quantity total cost is the total cost of both of these items we are receiving. Glancing at my invoice I received from my supplier, the total cost of these bracelets is $42.50. BusinessMind will automatically calculate the unit cost of each of these. The price field is where you will set the selling price for this item. For this example, we will be selling these at $5,000 each. We can now add any additional info we require, like description, notes, tag data, and tracking info. Let's also add a photo to the attachments field with a simple drag and drop. Clicking the Save icon will receive the item into inventory and print a tag if we had left that option selected. You should note that the supplier section is now locked and the received fields are updated with the current info. We can now receive the next item on this invoice. Again, we will click and type into the model field. Looks like the item we are receiving was previously stocked. I can select it, which will auto-populate some of the item's info. Again, we will input the quantity. I'm only receiving one of these. You will note that the cost did not auto-populate, as the cost may have changed since the last time you received this item. The price did auto-populate, but you can override that by inputting a new price if you need. If needed, you can make changes to any of the auto-populated fields and even add more attachments. When ready, click Save to receive this item. The received fields are again updated. Let's expand our scenario. Our office experiences a power failure while we were still receiving items. No problem. All the items you already received are in, so you're fine with those. Once your computer is back up and running, turn on BusinessMind and log in. Open the receiving screen. Click in the supplier field and enter and select the supplier. Now, click on the drop-down menu for the Receiving Ref ID field. Select the receiving ID you were previously working with. This will load and your received info will populate. This would be the same procedure if perhaps we had an emergency pop up, or better yet, we just wanted to get an early start to that weekend. Just quit out of BusinessMind, and when you're ready to continue receiving, log back in and pick up right where you left off. Let's enter our model number. Looks like this is another model that does not already exist. I'll select Create New Model. Now we'll fill in the quantity, and the cost, and the pricing info. Let's add our description and select some tracking info. Let's drag and drop an attachment. Clicking the save icon will add our item, and again, the received info will update. When you are finished receiving, you can simply close the receiving window by clicking on any link from the navigation bar.